Hey, what's going on, people? It's your boy, Sir Vic here, and today we're gonna talk about a commander specifically and tips about using him, pairings with him, and all sorts of stuff. So the commander we're gonna talk about is right now my primary commander, Belisarius. He's firstly from Byzantium, and his perks are cavalry, peacekeeping, and mobility. So those are pretty good perks, and his skills are pretty good too. So he specializes in cavalry and hitting barbs and doing the hit and run attacks, which all cavalry should do. That's what basically cavalries are. So his first skill is an active skill which requires 1,000 rage, pretty much the same for most of the commanders. So the first thing he gets is the decreased target attack by 30% and defense by 30% for the next 2 seconds. So once he puts these skills for the next 2 seconds or 2 attacks, because one attack is 1 second, his he decreases the enemy's target attack by 30% and defense by 30%, and then deals a massive damage factor of 450 to the target on the next turn. It's the same damage factor as Lohar, so wouldn't kind of use him in rallies or anything. He's purely for hit and run attacks or doing 1v1 battles. Um, his second skill is a barbarian damage skill. He deals 35% more damage to barbarians and other neutral units. So, guardians or barbarians or forts, anything that is neutral, he deals 35% extra damage. Pretty good for peacekeeping. His third skill is the cavalry defense bonus, which is 15%, and he increases the march speed by 25% for 10 seconds after leaving battle. So once you finish a battle, you leave. That gives you a 25% speed boost for 10 seconds straight. And he always has that 15% cavalry defense bonus. His fourth skill is when the target enemy has been reduced to less than 50% strength, he increases damage by 25% when maxed out. So if you're fighting someone 1v1, the target reaches 50% health, he's gonna get 25% more damage completely the entire 50% of his health is left, or till he runs away. His expertise skill is really good. He goes from increasing the defense of cavalry units from 15 to 30%. That's double, and also increases his march speed by 50% for the next 10 seconds, which is also double. Now, this kind of works out really good against the special commander, and I will talk about that later, just after I show you my builds and everything. So, if you want to have defensive cavalry, there's no thing as defensive cavalry, but if you want to like last longer in the battle, then you should use Belisarius, and his skills are pretty good for that. I'm still upgrading him, and I'm trying to get him to 6 stars. So there, my talents aren't as good yet for now. I have just set him up to peacekeeping. As you can see, you always want to go for the Trophy Hunter, which gives you a random packs, resource pack C, 15 of those every time you hit a barbarian. Kill a barbarian. You get 15% more XP from that, and you cost less AP points. You can go for the other ones too, but I would recommend going for these all and then just using him in the other ones. And then I've spec'd him into mobility, kind of, which will give him a boost for killing events, and somewhat in the cavalry. This is like a mixed build. It's not for war per se. It's only for barbarian hunting, which will help you out to level up other commanders. My war perspective is this, which is I'm still gonna level that to the hasty departure because that helps out a lot when you're trying to defend against someone hitting your territory. And you also want to go for all these march speeds down here. So once you get those, your cavalry is going to be stupendously fast and defensive. So let's take a look at what kind of pairings can you do with him. So the number one pairing that I would suggest to do with him is Pelagius. Belisarius and Pelagius go together hand in hand. Why? Because Pelagius is um, his expertise skill. He increases the attack of the cavalry units by 15 and the defense of cavalry units by 15%. So if you put two expertise commanders, both Pelagius and Belisarius together, you get 45% defense on the full cavalry unit. And also his first skill gives him rage generation, 100 rage generation, and he also has the healing factor, which helps him out too. So going with Pelagius is a really good idea, as you want to have that. You can also spec him with Minamoto per se, but I wouldn't recommend it unless you have a maximized Minamoto. If you have an expertise Minamoto, then go for it, but if not, I would still suggest you stick with Minamoto and Chow Chow or Sao Sao, however you say it. You just stick with him because those two go hand in hand together. Or you can also pair an expertise Belisarius with Hannibal Barca. Why? Because of his damage reduction and defense reduction. 25% on the enemy, and that will go to like about 45 to 50% of defense reduction. And you can do some insane damage, as you can see over here. And that's somewhat I would do that. You can also pair him with Genghis Khan, but it's not really recommended. Genghis Khan and Sao Sao are the only good ones. I kind of pairing Belisarius with Aethelflaed just because of the first skill, which gives the attack, defense, and health reduction by 30%, and also deals a damage factor of 800. So that's a go-to choice too if you're doing barbarians or going on a war and there's like kind of swarm of enemies. You can just reduce all of their defense and everything. I mean, on the all of their defense and everything, and help out your teammates who are fighting with good armies. So that's a good one too. Plus, she can deal a cavalry march speed reduction, and once she's expertise, she deals extra 20% to whoever she hits the Thunder's force. So that's pretty much it for the commanders. You can put it Joan of Arc if you're going full on defensive, just stacking up cavalry defense over and over and over. But that's your choice. What kind of troops would I use with them? I wouldn't use let me open it up so you know for sure. I wouldn't use Cataphract because Cataphracts are known to be the most defensive cavalry of all, because they have the most defense. But I wouldn't use them because you already have so much defense coming from Pelagius and Belisarius together that I would often recommend conquistadors to go with them, because Spain also gives another 5% of cavalry defense, so that's 50% defense just from rocking two commanders and especially civilization. And you get a conquistador, which is a good attacking cavalry, which helps you out in the war too. So once you expertise one of those, just switch to Spain and go for it. And also, starting with Byzantium is not a bad idea because it gives you, let me pull that up again, it gives you stone gathering speed, which is crucial to building your cavalry army, and it gives you increased cavalry health by 5% alongside hospital capacity. So that's a good choice to keep starting, because if you get attacked over and over and over, then that hospital capacity is going to help you out, preserve more troops. So once you do that, that would be it for the commanders, and pretty much that's it for the video. I can the next time I will, in the next video I will show you 1v1 battles with different types of troops and everything, because we're in a war right now. My troops aren't ready yet. I've lost a quite number of power and I'm rushing to T4 right now, so I'll bring out the videos pretty soon, and there's gonna be a pass 2 capture video like 2 days later, because the pass opens in, let me check, the pass opens about, so that's already done, so that's 1 day 24, so 2 days till the pass opens. And that's pretty much it for the video, guys. Give a like if you loved the video. Hit subscribe if you found it useful to you. And if you want to help me out grow faster, if you want to donate, there's going to be a PayPal donation link down in the description. Let me know in the comment section what other commander that you want to see, the pairings and tips and everything, and I'll bring those out to you too. And if you have any other suggestions for the video, hit me down in the comment section and I'll bring them for you. Thank you.